Oh, everybody put your hands up. You can do the snake, right? Yeah, all right. Just, dance away some worries today. It's Thursday, one more day till Friday. Well, welcome to the Hive, everybody. I'm so glad that you are here. Been a little bit wild the last couple days. I'm sure everybody's watching the news, but there's also some light shining from some of the negative. Well, number one, today you get to join into VR and experience something different and dance with your friends, right? And today we have an amazing host. Her name is Louisa Spring. She's been in VR for a while now. She's been in VR gaming. She's been a speaker at all conferences, all different types of virtual reality conferences, and even technology. She was even a producer. And now she's created this unbelievable technology platform called MotusXR. You want to tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into it?
Yeah, thanks, Navah. Well, first of all, I wanted to say hi, everyone. It's actually a little bit, intimidating in a way, but kind of cool too. And I wanted to say thank you to Navah for inviting me today. Navah and I met when actually I had to go down to Florida to a clinical trial conference that I'd never been to before, and I was going on my own. And she kindly helped me out. And then we did the conference together. She was unbelievable. Social media and everything. And then we had a complete laugh as well. So we became real besties from that. And it was just so great because it was women kind of, supporting other women. And my God, at the pharmaceutical conference, they had so much money. And
oh my gosh.
we quite happily tagged along whilst they were, it was Halloween and they were literally in costumes partying in penthouses. There's probably a lot more I can tell you about those couple of days.
Yeah, it was a very interesting time. A great experience. And I get to learn so much about what you've created too. Like firsthand, I got to experience it because you get to read a lot about different things that people are doing in VR, different things people are developing. But it's really hard to actually get to experience everything because, we're global. I mean, everybody's everywhere. So you can't always try everything. And I was able to experience yours and it was just crazy. I was like, why doesn't everybody have this right now? So anyway, so tell us about it.
Yeah, so I don't know, are you going to put the videos on first, or how would you do this? Oh my God, look at my, sorry. I didn't realize my chest was so big in that picture.
Well, I think the video that we have is just taking a minute to turn on.
Okay.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. So so I'll go back to the beginning a little bit, actually, before, we start video, etc. I actually came into VR in 2015 when I was working for a law firm that also represent the royal family. They look at new technologies all around the world and how it can impact the royal family. And that was when I saw VR for the first time. Now, I know a lot of you have been in VR since 1990s. So, and I know I'm a relative newbie from that, but I really fell in love with it then because my dad was the head of Atari for gaming in the West Midlands when I was a child. And so I really fell in love with VR because I thought, holy say that in here, I can be in the game. So
it's actually playing in the background.
I really fell in love with that. So this is actually our VR lab that we built. And what you're seeing here is what it's like to be inside the lab Now, normally this person, the blue person, would be moving real time. The headset, the patient's at home, they've got on a long sleeve t-shirt and pants, and it's got 10 sensors in it. That Bluetooth phone, and we can actually monitor you in the lab real time. And I think we have another video as well of that. Actually, if you go to the MotusXR page, webpage, you'll see more too.
This is a great example.
Another example with HoloLens of what we can do, and this is remote patient monitoring with a physical therapist asking him to go through certain diagnostic, certain types of tasks within their own home. Well, the doctor actually is in their office, or as that's Dr. Trumpy there, she actually said, could I really be on holiday doing this with my patients at home? So she got really excited about that.
Obviously. I mean, can you imagine if healthcare actually had that in their business now with what's going on with coronavirus? Like, how do things like that actually help? How does this help?
Well, actually, it's been really super interesting. In the past, literally week alone, I've had a ton of health providers reach out to me. The reason being, it's very different uses. Some of it is remote patient monitoring for those who have, for example, surgery. Then they go back into the wild per se, and they have to do these exercises. They're not doing them, and that means they have to be readmitted to the hospital. And after that, it actually costs everyone way more money and time. With this, you can actually see what they've done. You can also test if they're doing the exercises right. And the interesting side effect per se of this coronavirus is that a lot of doctors are being brought on that are frail and elderly actually to help the system cope with as much medics out there. And so remote patient monitoring is becoming more and more valid to health systems. I think that what you saw actually with that CNS summit is they all talk a very good talk of innovation. Like, that's the word, the buzzword, innovation. So, and then when you actually go into these medical companies, apart from all the great innovation they're doing within actually, making new drugs, not really doing that much innovation. And they're very old, kind of service companies that, or pharmaceutical companies that, find it hard to change their practices per se. But I think this, has, obviously what's going on right now. I mean, the unfortunate side effect of it is making everyone take a good look at what their telemedicine practices are.
Right. So how would something like this work? So if I was a patient, I would have wearables on.
Yeah.
And I think how does that work?
So what happened was we took a look at all the, suits around, and the suits were, basically either, about 15,000, made you look like Aquaman. They were not very soft. You would never wear it out. So we actually built our own suit, and it's actually the same cotton that is used in Calvin Klein underwear, which is like bamboo, very soft. And
hello, Marky Mark.
Right. And then we have sensors that are poppable in the clothing. So we've actually made a very soft long sleeve t-shirt and leggings that you can wear underneath your clothes whenever you want. You can pop the sensors out when you want to wash it, and it's very cost effective compared to all the other ones out there. And so we did this with a very ergonomic design, basically because there was no other one out there that really kind of the older generation could or would want to wear, or anyone would really want to wear underneath their clothes when they're moving around. And we use basically the sensors that we use pop in and out of the clothing, and then you plug them in at night. They Bluetooth to your phone. So if you're wondering how the data comes through, it goes through the phone. It's Bluetooth, goes up to our data center, and then it comes down in that visualization through the HoloLens or through a tablet. In fact, it will go through a phone as well. And so it's really a kind of cross-platform, in a way, platform.
Well, with all the things that you've done, like we were saying earlier, from VR gaming to um, producing TV shows like what Netflix's Rome, everything that you've done in your career to creating this, and then also Sam Immersive, how do you feel like this has helped you in this specific endeavor?
My background, I'm a recovering lawyer. I think that helps. I also, I like making big deals. The deals I made when I stopped working for the law firm, I actually started working with some smaller companies and advising them with my company, Sam Immersive. And actually, one of those companies, I was the one that brought Walmart in to buy spatial land, which actually is now called Insperience.
Wow.
Since then, I've done deals with T-Mobile, hope you're there, guys, and also Hershey and lots of big companies. I love kind of doing deals. And then in regards to my entertainment career, I don't know. Oh, there's actually the mobile version of what we do, and you can see we actually measure limb deflection, etc., by hertz, 60 hertz a second, just in case you're wondering what was behind me. But in regards to my entertainment career, I think, basically
Fergie.
you have to be scrappy in Hollywood. So I think, being scrappy in Hollywood, no matter what, even if you're working on Lord of the Rings, it doesn't matter. You still have to be scrappy and not take anything for granted. And I think
Stan Lee,
felt
Fergie,
oh yeah,
Sir Roger Moore.
my husband
You just know
actually,
everybody.
God, Sarah Ferguson. Oh my God, Billy Zane. He's such a cool guy. Wonder
Woman.
Yeah, I love
She was
her.
my favorite. Growing
Yeah,
up, that
I
was
love
my
her.
favorite. I don't know about you guys, but she was the best. So
Yeah, she is the best. Actually, she does a lot of work in Washington, and that's actually about the fourth or fifth time I've met with her. I was actually sitting next to her at dinner. I wouldn't say we're great friends, but we are acquaintances.
who doesn't
Billy,
love you, Louisa? I mean, your personality is
I did a
amazing, and
movie
you're
with
just
Billy. He's a great guy. But I think, the main thing I was kind of known for in that time was doing basically putting John Rhys Davis in Lord of the Rings and basically getting a 6'2" man the role of a dwarf. And then he also became Treebeard. And then I also represented Roger Moore for a long time. And he was such a great...
That's 007, guys.
Yeah, for the younger generation, 007. And he was actually, I can tell you a very funny story about him. I actually went to dinner with him, and it was one of the very first times I'd ever met him. And I said to him, oh, my favorite scene of yours is when you take the girl's dress down with a magnet. And he turned to me and he said, Louisa, I have a magnet in my pocket right now.
You were like, oh my gosh, what am I wearing right now? What am I
wearing? Exactly. So
Sir
I
Roger
guess
Moore.
I've had a pretty varied career already. I'm no spring chicken, but at the same time, I know that, I can make deals. And with this platform, I'm just really excited about it because I think it's got an ability to, help a lot of people. I don't say that very lightly, but I do think that, remote patient monitoring, especially for the elderly or really remote patients, it could be very helpful to them. They want to see the progression of their disease. They don't want to go into clinics. Why would you want? I've told my mother, don't go into the clinic. And then really looking kind of far down the line, I really see, a place where it could be something that, would be used for, aging in place. If I could
Absolutely.
monitor my mother real time through a HoloLens, not that she'd want me to, but I'd probably love to do that.
Right. Well, is that how you got started into this? Because that was my next question is like, how did you create this? Because I know in the beginning it was through Parkinson's, right? It was to help with
Yeah.
Parkinson's disease.
So I'm not the creator of the platform. Just I want to make that clear. I think that hopefully Tate might be in here. I don't know if he is. Yeah, he was going to join. But anyway, Tate McCarthy is the CTO who built the platform, and he was working on the Michael J. Fox Foundation study, wearable study, where they were sending patients home with a watch, and then they were gathering 2.5 million hours worth of data. And so
Wow.
what happened was he saw all the problems wrong with that went on. They're still continuing with that study to an extent, trying to work out what all that data means. But basically, if you've got a tremor in your, bottom half, the watch isn't really going to be monitoring what you're doing. And also, how much are you doing that on a daily basis? Now, all of the things that he learned during that time that was so great, about how hard patients were finding it to get to the centers of excellence, how they were finding it even putting on a watch class. We've taken all of that actually, we've taken all of that advice and all of those learnings and put it into the platform. And so that's why with the clothing, we made it very, very ergonomic. The platform, we drilled into, what do people want to see? And because they can see very precisely what the tremor is, that's very different to how they do it now. If you have Parkinson's or your parents have Parkinson's, they will go and be tested by the doctor. And so some guy who doesn't really know you will just go, okay, touch your nose, pick up a cup, walk a straight line. And then what they'll do is they'll say, how are you feeling this week? Guy, if it's a guy, it's always, well, I felt great, And then the carer says, no, you fell over last week. Well, for them, they then rate you subjectively out of 5, sorry. And then they'll say, okay, you're a 1 out of 5, a 2 out of 5, a 3 out of 5. And so it's just a guy basically sitting there subjectively rating you. They're not seeing the progression of the disease. They're not seeing day to day if this is getting better. The patient themselves are not seeing, if I take a drug in the morning that is, an allergen drug, and I take it at this time, am I any better in the afternoon at a certain time? Or if I take a Merck drug, am I better with the Merck drug? This will show how you're moving better with each drug. And it will also show at what times of the day it actually starts wearing off. So you get a really broad 360 picture of the patient. And that was why, I hope I'm saying it right, Tay. If you're in the room, you probably want to kill me afterwards. But that was really the impetus.
I think that sounds pretty good. I mean, it seems like personalization and customization where it's care. It's like true care. It's your daily care. It's something that's tracking you, that's saying, okay, this has been a really good week for you. Or, maybe I noticed, you can see traits, I guess, and some of the things that you did that week, maybe things you ate, things you did, stress, all of that could affect it. I mean, who knows?
And we are, obviously we have machine learning integrated into the platform.
Right.
So more and more, data for us is good because you can just, start seeing some baselines, etc.
That's amazing.
Different, other disease too, or even, rehab.
Right.
How are you doing each week in your rehab? There's a group up in, for example, in Vancouver, and they are Parkinson's patients. But what happens is when they go into the clinic, they are tested, first of all, with UPDRS, meaning, hold this cup, touch your nose, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then they do a series of exercises. So they do these exercises, and then they're tested again with this UPDRS test, meaning,
Wow.
Subjective test. But what they're seeing is absolutely amazing progress with these patients. But what they can't see is how long does that physical therapy, stay with that patient, and then, how long does that wear off? And then also, are those patients doing that physical therapy at home as well? So, they want to see a full 360 of the patient, and they also want to be able to almost digitalize, the results they're getting out of the clinic too. So that's really exciting for us.
Yeah, and also the medicine, right? The medicine they take to be able to have the stats and the after effects, like you were saying with rehab, or any type of medicine, telemedicine, like you were saying, just
medicine intake and pharma trials and things like this. This is very good for if you're looking for more data on a patient. Basically, this is what we can do in terms of movement and how the patient is moving. But I should also say that we can actually integrate other sensors into this platform, like heart rate, integrate the watch. So lots of other sensors can come into the platform too. So a lot of people come up with very different ideas when I'm talking to them about the platform. They're like, well, okay, but my goodness, we could use it for drug trials for ADHD kids. And the reason being right now is ADHD kids are, they have to go into a classroom where it's a made-up classroom. So parents, kids have to take time off work, kids have to take time off school, and then they have these fake teachers and literally fake desks, and they just watch them to see if they fidget. Well, I could do that in real life, so
right.
That's one use case. Another one is with macular degeneration. They actually build very big mazes to test people who are taking a certain drug. Well, to build a big maze is, it's incredibly expensive. It's also kind of ridiculous because, like the Olympics, they score you, out of 10 every, 20 seconds or what have you. And then, and it's all based on video.
Right.
So, companies are really looking at ways, how can we digitize rather than having big physical mazes with basically videotape? I mean, it's unbelievable that in this day and age, that's what, pharma companies have to rely on. And that's what I'm really trying to, I won't be able to change it completely, but, if I let that option be out there, hopefully some of them will give us a go. And in fact, actually,
hopefully you change that, because that sounds like a dream to any person. I mean, if I, anything that I would have wrong with me, I would want to be able to trace it and not have to deal with, oh, was that a side effect, or was it because I was sick or something else, So it's actually a wonderful thing for the client too. I mean, who wants to upload their invoices of what was wrong with them every time they went to the doctor, especially when it's something chronic, So I think it's unbelievable for both sides, and I just can't imagine.
Well, I think the patients that Tate, if he's here, hi Tate, worked with on the Michael J. Fox Foundation, they actually they really like being able to see their disease. So that, to be able to actually kind of see it as, a three-dimensional model of yourself. I mean, I got to say, look, if I did yoga better, right, and then I wore this suit every day, I'd probably see myself moving a hell of a lot better. So, but, exactly. I'm naughty that way.
Well, that's why I like you. Well, on that note, if anybody wants to connect with you, with your product or your service, where would they go to get something like this? Besides Twitter, everybody.
Yes, I love Twitter. Yes, so, well, my email is louisa@motusxr.com. And feel free to reach out, really.
They go to MotusXR.com too?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
And there are some more videos up there, and I'd love to connect with all of you regardless and hear whatever you're up to too. And, I do believe that, it's really good to collaborate with people, especially people in this virtual room. I mean,
right?
This is pretty incredible. And I definitely won't forget this one. So thank you, Nav.
Definitely
I really thank you.
Thank you.
I mean, honestly, you and I had so much fun, and now we had so much fun virtually. We had so much.
I mean, it feels like we're hanging out right now, doesn't it? It's just really crazy that way.
It is crazy, and it does feel like there's an audience as well, which is so cool.
Yeah, it's a great community. So,
yes. So
I think we're going to get some questions in here.
And
I think we're going to call out for some questions.
Okay,
so,
cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions, anyone?
Yeah,
you can also ask
questions.
Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Yes, great presentation. I enjoyed it. But my question is a little off topic, not necessarily with the VR product, which is a great product. My question is more to what you were speaking to earlier in the presentation about because of the coronavirus, more companies now looking more trying to transition into VR. Like I would like to actually expound on that some more. Like how can we transition to VR? Like what ways can we monetize? Because people are going to get laid off. I think a recession is coming. How can we make up for that and transition to here to kind of make up for that recession that's going to come?
Well, thanks so much for asking that question. We like to always think on the positive side here at the Hive. So we don't know what's coming tomorrow, but we do know that there's a lot of great, the World Health Organization is doing as much as they can. So, you being here today is just such a great add-on to know that there's different places for you to be entertained if you're, stuck somewhere or, but in the end, thank you so much for coming, and definitely VR is an option. And there's a lot of different options like AltSpace or VR chat to be able to connect with others and meet up, and also Roomy VR. So thank you. All right, next question.
Hi, I'm just curious. I was wondering if if the developers of the program that you're talking about for remote patient care are actually working with patients in developing this, or if they're just working from the doctor's perspective.
Well, he came from working with basically the patients, with the Fox Insight study. So we're patient first. We are working with the patient right now, actually, and we will be working with those other patients too. I think you have to kind of know what the doctor wants to get out of it, but you've got to make it comfortable and ergonomic, and you've really got to, listen to what the patient wants to do. I visited the patient the other day, and it was interesting to hear what she wanted, as well as, what we need to be able to put into it so that we get the right readings, basically. So in answer to your question, we're very patient first.
Okay.
Hi, Louisa. Thank you for your information. I worked in hospitals for almost 40 years, and I have a head trimmer. And so knowing that there is a possibility at some point, because I belong to the Trimmer Association, that people will be able to track when it happens, how it happens, and if there's anything that affects it, is very empowering to think that that might be available sometime. I have a friend who can hardly hold anything in her hands anymore. And it is so frustrating. And you can't get into a doctor because they aren't going to spend that much time with you. But patients want to have that power. They want to be able to know what's going on with them. So the ability to have physical therapists involved and have people be able to track when they do things better, if it's in the morning or the night, is amazing for giving patients power.
Thank you. I actually, you know what, you articulated a lot of how I feel about it, giving patients power. So that's really good. And I'm glad that I explained it well enough to someone like you as well, that actually, made my day. Thank you. And please get in touch as well. I'd love to talk to you about it, because there is something we can do for head tremor too.
Okay.
I love that. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, and so also we have Val has a tournament, Pistol Whip, and it's going to be on Saturday here in Allspace. So we'll play a little trailer for you to check it out.
Looks super cool.
Totally. I love this music. It's like and that's it for today. Thank you so much for taking your time coming to the Hive. And it always just feels like we're hanging out because we're all in the same place and all in different areas of the world, yet we connect, and just being together is fun. Never alone at the Hive. Thanks for coming. See you next week.
Thanks, everyone. Okay.
Yeah, actually, next week we're going to have Daniel Pex. We're going to have an art animator, an art designer, and I don't know if you've seen on Oculus TV. If you have a Quest, he has a show called The Remedy. It's a comic book, so it should be really fun next week too. So thanks again.
Stay safe, everyone. Bye.
Thank you for coming, Louisa.
Thank you, Navah.
Yay!
Thanks. Yay!
Yay!